y'all, it's Jen, and welcome to Iffer's Inklings. First of all, today I have a book review for you for American Drifter by Heather Graham and Chad Michael Murray. This is billed as a romantic thriller. It is adult, and the hardback version has 316 pages. It is a recent release. It came out November 14th of 2017. This book follows River, who is an ex-U.S. soldier who is suffering through post-traumatic stress disorder. In this story, we meet him in Rio, Brazil, where it is just the start of the carnival season, and he is backpacking through Brazil, and he has currently been in Rio for, I think, probably a couple of months at this point. He's made some friends, and he is just kind of there to enjoy the scenery and just kind of enjoy life. Now, while there, he witnesses what he believes is a murder, and he kind of fixates on that for most of the story. And then there are some other elements that do bring in a little bit of the thriller aspect to it. There is a twist at the end that I won't get into. But early on in this story, he does also fall in love with a girl that he meets, Natal. That is where the majority of this story takes place. His love story with Natal, and then also the little bit of the mystery with the murder that he thinks he might have witnessed at the hands of the drug lord there, T.O. Amato. Now, overall, I love this story. I listened to the audiobook version of it, which is read by Chad Michael Murray, and so that really just added to the ambiance of this story for me. I love Chad Michael Murray's voice. This book really felt like a Chad Michael Murray book to me. I never have read anything by Heather Graham, but so I really can't say that it was influenced by her or not, but I could definitely feel his influence on the story. Just based off of how I followed him on social media, his posts there, his Facebook stories, his Instagram stories, the interviews that I've seen with him, you know, all of that, the media aspect of Chad. There wasn't anything really that I was disappointed in this story. I can't really say that there were any cons to it. I wasn't a huge fan of the way the story ended, but again, I don't want to give anything away on my reasons why on that, so I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't recall that there was any potentially offensive content. I'm not real familiar with Brazil or Brazil culture or anything like that. There have been some people and some reviews, some comments that have questioned if it was authentic to the country and how it was portrayed, and there was a lot of things that were pointed out as possibly stereotypical. But there has not been any reviews that I've seen that by any people that were native to Brazil. There is some sexual content in here, but again, this is an adult story. But even that wasn't real graphic. Most of it was implied rather than very explicit. There is some reference to the drug industry down there. There was T.O. Amato is a drug lord down there. He controls, in this story, he controls most of everything in Rio, including the political atmosphere and the security and all that. I don't recall that there was any language in it as far as their cuss words or anything like that. There may have been one or two, but again, I don't recall any. Overall, this story really captivated me. It was beautifully written. It is a flowy kind of writing style, very descriptive. You really get a feel for the setting, the places, the people. I felt like I was watching all of this play out on the screen in front of me. And that is something that's very rare for me to be able to do in books while reading them. It does have a little bit of a slower pacing on it than you would expect from a book that is billed as a thriller. But again, I really think it's probably more of a romance than with just a hint of thriller or suspense to it rather than the opposite. I really enjoyed the characters in this as well. There are a handful of them that play a prominent role in it. Of course, there's the bad guys that everyone hates, and you should hate because they're the bad guys. But then there are the characters that are the good characters that you really can feel that they are good characters, if that makes any sense. There is a quote in here that I particularly enjoyed. I'm going to read it for you. This is at the start of chapter 4 on page 53. And the context of this is he has just discovered who Natal is. And she is a writer who has published an article in the local newspaper, and it's a commentary on the U.S. And I just really liked the way this was worded. Here it goes. It was beautifully written, he thought, and humorous as well. The article focused on the census taken in the U.S., how people were asked about their color, religion, and ethnicity. Yet, the article stated there should be only one answer that anyone should have to give, whether they were born in the country or naturalized: American. Because obviously being born there made you American. But if you swore an oath, you were also an American, on top of all else. And being American should mean that none of the rest mattered. Until the government and the U.S. stopped discerning between color, faith, and original ethnicity, not all Americans will truly be free to chase their dream. Still, as a foreigner, I applaud the country for the ideal of equality so many hold true, and speak to its citizens, for somewhere in there, that dream does still exist. And with that, I'm going to leave you with my rating on this and my recommendation. I did give it a 5-star rating, and I would absolutely recommend this book, especially if you are one of those people who really enjoy more character-driven stories, and if you like just a tad bit of suspense, you like a little bit of story to go with your romance, then I feel like you will definitely enjoy this. And if you are a Chad Michael Murray, One Tree Hill fan, you will probably enjoy this book as well. So again, definitely enjoyed this book. I gave it 5 stars, and I recommend that you pick it up and try it out yourself. If you have read this book, let's talk about your thoughts in the comments below. If you plan on picking this book up, let's talk about that as well. I'd love to see other people's thoughts on this book. So, as always, if you've enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Be sure and hit that subscribe button if you are not already subscribed. And until next time, bye.